This week has seen one of the most bizarre diplomatic situations in the UK. Sir Darroch, the UK ambassador to the US, had his private comments leaked. Comments about President Trump, which the president didn't really appreciate. Britain's man in the US says Trump is inept. Leaked secret cables from ambassadors say that the president is uniquely dysfunctional and his career could end in disgrace. What happened afterwards was even more interesting. Obviously, Trump couldn't control his temper as usual, so he started tweeting out against Darroch. Now, at this point, it's important to say that Darroch, like other diplomats, must have the freedom to make private and professional comments. So leaking them was a very wrong thing to do. And obviously, we're having an investigation to find out who was behind it. The reason these private cables exist is so diplomats freely express professional opinions to the politicians in charge. If they didn't have these powers, then they'll just be yes men, and that won't really help our diplomacy. Also, our politicians won't be fully informed as diplomats can't give them their real insights. Having said that, now that his comments are leaked and the US president decided not to deal with him anymore, his position has become untenable. But then the most unnecessary thing happened. Whilst investigation is going on, speculation is there that the leak was political, which is bad. But those that complained about making British diplomacy political decided to go full-on political. During the Boris and Hunt ITV debate, the candidates were asked if they would support Darroch. But they're not even Prime Minister yet.
Who chooses our ambassadors is a matter for the United Kingdom government and the United Kingdom Prime Minister. So I have made it clear that if I am our next Prime Minister, the ambassador in Washington stays.
I'm not going to be so presumptuous as to
Thank
think
you.
that I'm going to be in a position to take that. But what I will say is that I and I alone will decide who takes important and politically sensitive jobs, such as the UK ambassador to the US.
Following this, Darroch decided to resign. Then everyone who's anti-Boris blamed Boris for this resignation.
The current Foreign Secretary, Jeremy Hunt, gave him full support. So did the Prime Minister, so did the Cabinet. And a former Foreign Secretary who thinks that he is equipped to be Prime Minister has basically thrown him under the bus. And members of Parliament here on both sides of the House are absolutely livid. And I think that the conduct of Boris Johnson has discredited him enormously in the eyes of many people in this country.
Boris Johnson threw Darroch under a bus because he wants to stay on the right side of the American president. What has happened to our country?
Okay, dear. Having heard these very political comments, Boris hit back. Responding to the attacks, Boris Johnson told The Sun, "I can't believe they're trying to blame me for this. It seems bizarre to me. I'm a great supporter of Kim's. I worked very well with him for years. I spoke to him just now to offer my good wishes. I think that he's done a superb job." Asked why he failed to back him in the TV debates, Mr. Johnson said, "I don't think it's right to drag public servants' careers into the arena in that way. I thought that it was most odd that the career of a particular servant should suddenly become a test case within a TV debate." Before this gets out of hand, let's listen to this analysis.
And there were a series of factors at play. Factor number one was that less than unequivocal support from Boris Johnson. Factor number two was a second Twitter storm from Donald Trump. And factor number three was the cancellation of a meeting that he was meant to attend between Liam Fox, the International Trade Secretary, and his US counterpart, Wilbur Ross. So the television debate wasn't the only factor, but it was a factor in Darroch's decision.
And that's absolutely right. There were a number of factors behind this resignation. Trump sulking and Theresa May's government softly ignoring Darroch are just two of those. But we're in a situation right now where Darroch and the anti-Boris brigade are so quick to fully blame it on Boris didn't back me, so I'm resigning. No, dear, your position was untenable. And despite any future Prime Minister verbally backing you, the US was never going to be dealing with you anymore. As I said, Darroch should have been able to express his opinions in private. And whoever leaked them should obviously answer. But now that it's out, Darroch's position has been weakened. Blaming it on Boris for simply not commenting on it is very political and irrational. Boris didn't even say that he won't support him. He just didn't fully commit to either side, and rightly so. A letter in the Times said, "Sir, I am no fan of Trump or Johnson, but Johnson's ambivalent position on Sir Kim Darroch regrettably makes sense." This was followed by suggesting that Trump's attacks on Sir Kim is utterly distasteful, but no US president could let such a critical analysis of his performance by a top diplomat go unchallenged. But get used to a lot of these anti-Boris tactics for the next few months and potentially years. But I want to hear your opinion on this as well, so make sure you leave a comment below, and as always, make sure you share, subscribe, and don't forget to click on the notification bell next to it. And I'll see you on Monday with the next video, and Sunday at 8 p.m. UK time, live Q&A right here on YouTube.